Hi Gemini, I hope you guys are doing great today. Welcome to your general love read, but it's deep. It's a deep read, right? We're going to be covering singles, complicated, as well as committed relationship. We're going to be doing them in 3 different spreads. I'm going to timestamp the complicated and the committed in the description box below the video. I'm going to be doing 3 specialty reads. So we're going to be doing a hermit read for those of you who are single. And then we're going to be doing a levels read for those of you who are committed. I'm going to be doing a death read for those of you who are in a complicated situation, only because the death card in tarot can indicate transformation, right? And something needing to be released or transformed, right? So we're going to start off with the Hermit energy for our single friends. So why did I pick the Hermit energy? It's a Virgo energy. It really is about going within for clarity and going it alone for a while, because things that you were involved in up to this point really were not ultimately meant for you. You know, that really is a good way of looking at it. Definitely a problem-solving energy. There's a lot of healing here, self-exploration, a quest for personal truth and analysis going on here. So I think it's the perfect energy to ground a singles read in. So I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. I want to give a shout out to Highbrow. Okay, she is one of the subscribers who I have like a very nice sort of beautiful exchange with regularly here on YouTube. So Highbrow, good luck this weekend, and make sure you find out that man's time of birth so we can find out his rising sign to check compatibility. So always do that. If you guys are going to be meeting somebody, see if you can casually bring up so do you happen to know like exactly what time you were born? And not ish. Oop, what's a poppin'? Right, okay, Nine of Swords energy. Nine of Swords. Coming in from the past events. All right, let's get right into this. Got some energies that really want to pop out here. All right, so Nine of Swords energy. Impact to the past, Six of Swords. So something very painful happened, very anxiety ridden, right? That made you move on, move out of the situation, your emotions right now. You still have fire in your belly for a relationship, but you are very protective. You have your boundaries up, and that's okay. So we have what holds you back, what's going to move you forward, what are you hoping for, and what is the outcome? Okay. Ooh, we have the Knight of Cups is the outcome. So this is fabulous for Geminis who are single. So good stuff. All right, so let's get into this. Nine of Swords. Yeah, so I mean, the past events created a lot of like, you know, what is the right thing for me? But this could even be if you haven't been in a relationship for a really long time. These are the kind of like ruminating thoughts. Should I be in a relationship? Should I not be in a relationship? Some of you are going to be like not being able to get over that past person, or you're well past them, but maybe you're still dealing with the residue and the damage that they did before they left, right? There are many ways that this could manifest, but really the culminating idea here is that there's a lot of anxiety in response to what was happening in your 3D in the past. Okay, and the impact of this that it had on you was just getting very specific in your mindset that you're just going to move away from the toxicity. You're just not going to do it anymore. I mean, really, that is like the Six of Swords. It's moving on, right? And this can manifest mentally, physically, right now. It doesn't matter, but it's about detaching, right? And pulling away from something, allowing space for there to be some sort of healing and to do some sort of internal work. So, you know, maybe you were married, or you were in a serious relationship for a long time, or again, maybe you were just not with anybody for a very long time, and what the toxicity that you're moving away from are the fears that have been preventing you from really opening yourself energetically to being able to meet somebody. As I know, a lot of people, this is just in general part of the human condition, when they're not in a relationship for a long time, they're like, I've been putting it out there, I don't understand, you know, it just doesn't happen for me. Either, you know, nobody's right for me, or I'm not feeling it for anybody. Whatever. Those are all like synonyms for you just not energetically being ready, even if you feel like you are, right? There's a difference between wanting something and energetically being super ready for it, you know? There's that difference. So we have the emotions right now that you're feeling. You're very much in a Nine of Wands space. And Nine of Wands, moon in Sagittarius, you're definitely in a strong position right now, right? Because you have fought a long and hard fight or a long and hard, you've been through something that was very long and hard in your life, having to do with relationship, something that really, really exhausted you in the past, right? But you do have still this perseverance, sort of move forward, right? This is like a temporary energy of feeling that sense of exhaustion. A lot of you might even feel kind of defensive, which is likely right now. Not a bad thing. It may be even rightfully so, but you want to be careful that it doesn't keep you in ultimately a negative mindset, because your efforts are going to be met with success, but you have to stay open. As long as you maintain balance and a very careful approach to something, this is going to be really good for you. Again, I can't emphasize enough how much balance is important here, because what comes after 9 of Wands, right? 10 of Wands, who wants that, right? We don't want the 10 of Wands, right? The 10 of Wands means, I have to put these down, I have to end this kind of thing. Knight of Wands is still having fire in your belly. Still definitely having fire in your belly. And what do you want? You want this 8 of Wands energy. 8 of Wands is a great energy. It's very, first of all, it's a very strong foundation, right? This could indicate that you've been waiting for some good news to come in. So maybe you're in communication with somebody and you're very much wanting somebody to reach out to you. This ends up being good news coming in that incites a lot of busy communication, and this is really great if you've been feeling very held back in relationship, or you've been waiting to hear from somebody specific. Really good news, and really good news in the same way to even go a step further, having to do with growth, right? Especially if you're in a space where maybe somebody of value you met a while ago, maybe you were intimately involved with them, maybe you weren't, and they were just a friend. It doesn't matter, but it could be you hearing from somebody from the past, somebody that you've been separated from, that you haven't seen in a while, and them contacting you, and it going really, really well. Okay, so that's really nice. Now, what's holding you back is the Magician. So the Magician is all about manifesting and being able to make something happen. Now, the Magician is a Mercury energy. It's Gemini. It's right to you guys, and Virgo, both of you, right? So, you guys are all about communication and learning from a very base level, a very base foundation. It's not higher learning. It's just fundamental learning of how to do something differently. And the 6th house, Virgo's the 6th house. It has to do with problem solving. So communicating in order to solve problems. Now, a lot of times we have the Magician internally, right? It's that internal conversation that we have. And when it gets really wacky crazy out of whack, that's when we get into the 9 of Swords energy down here, right? That we have here. So it really is this energy, right, that's holding you back. Is you want to figure out, where are you overthinking stuff? Where are you maybe, and it's not even like a stubborn kind of thing. It's really more of an overthinking. Because remember, Mercury ruling Virgo being the most critical sign. It's very, and Virgo, that Virgo energy can see things, and Virgo's your sister, right? Because in Mercury anyway, in that energy, it's, that energy is able to see things that other people can't. So with the Magician, it's like having this vision in your mind's eye of what it is that you want, but at the same time, it's like nobody really fits the bill, and I'm not going to, but I'm sort of going to sort of remind you, as I always say, Gemini, right? You guys require this Renaissance energy in relationship, and it's just something that you need to embrace, right? You want to be attracted, you want to be interested, you want to be impressed, you want to be all of those things. You also want somebody to be there, right? So you want somebody who can intellectualize with you, but who also has an appreciation for all the Venusian things, right? Like good wine and good food and all of that stuff. So you just want somebody who has a lot going on, right? So with the Magician energy being what's holding you back, you might be overthinking, and you might be like, yeah, but no, yeah, all right, well, they have 5 out of 7, maybe, maybe even 6 out of 7, but that 1 or 2 things, that's really sticking me, that kind of thing, right? So that could be what's holding you back. But what's going to help you move forward is the Knight of Wands energy. So this could literally be meeting a Knight of Wands energy, and a Knight of Wands energy is not a bad kind of energy. It's very creative, very innovative, very inspirational, motivating. They have a lot of stories to tell. You know, as I always say though, with the Knight of Wands energy, this kind of energy can be very impatient and tends to make snap judgments about people based on their first impressions. So, you know, so you just want to watch out for that, or this might even be you. But very charismatic energy, very talkative. Sounds like I'm describing a Gemini though, doesn't it? But this is about you really getting in touch with your ambitions, your passions, your motivation, having to do with relationship, because any area that you have been feeling very blocked in right now, this is going to be lifted, and decisions coming in the area of relationship that you've been really feeling very stuck in. So whether it's you've been feeling stuck getting over that person, you've been feeling stuck because you're over that person and you're ready to move forward and you want to hear back from somebody else and you finally hearing back from them, you know, it can manifest in a number of ways. But the Knight of Wands is very, like, it's a very, very passionate energy, which is really, really nice. So that's going to help you move forward. Now, what are you hoping for is the Two of Cups energy? I mean, yeah, sure, Venus and Cancer, who doesn't want that, right? You want a mutually supportive relationship, right? It definitely indicates new passion for those of you who are single. There's no question. And this is about nurturing and also having that important conversation about, you know, in a very pragmatic way, like what are you looking for? What are they looking for? You know, you guys figuring out, are you going to go into that Three of Cups energy together, right? It's yeah, okay, you met, you got together, you're having the conversation, and now there's going to be really serious conversation about you guys going to that next step. And the outcome is the Knight of Cups. So very nice. I mean, this does indicate a proposal coming in, an emotional time, for sure. I mean, this is a really nice energy. Now you just want to be careful. The only thing, and I'm not looking to rain on anybody's parade here, but the Knight of Cups can be very almost like idyllic and idealistic, and so this person can be pretty perfect. And while wanting a partner, like seriously wanting a partner, they can end up getting stuck behind a false persona, unable to drop the act of who they are. So you really want to take your time with anything that seems too good to be true. You really want to make sure that they, you know, walk their talk. Be open to real love, but, you know, don't judge by appearance and all of that, but just make sure they're walking their talk. At the same time, Gemini, you really want to make sure, and I can't emphasize this enough for all Geminis in all areas of your life this year, and I'm going to keep saying it because I don't want you to forget it. Honesty is so important for everybody, not like for Gemini. You know, you guys are the North Node of the Moon right now. There is a lot of karma. Saturn is taking notes big time for everybody, but not like for any other sign than Gemini right now for the next year. So you want to be careful that you don't misrepresent yourself. You don't, you know, and I'm just saying it to say it, you know, I'm just throwing it out there. You want to really live in your truth, be honest, lots of integrity, even if it doesn't feel comfortable regarding whatever the situation is. You want to be super honest because you don't want to deal with the other side of the karma that would be generated when your Gemini energy is hanging out in the North Node of the Moon. You're just not going to want to deal with that. So, but anyway, Knight of Cups energy is very, very nice, really nice. So we have that with the Two of Cups. Really good energy. Let's see what Whispers of Love close out for us. Demonstrate love. Very good. Act as if your partner is here already. And love makes the difference. So a really good message for those of you who are like, I don't really need a relationship. Love helps heal past hurts and provides a sense of security and self-worth. Not that you're going to throw all your apples into that basket, but it certainly helps to feel like good about yourself, that accolades that somebody else is giving you. Act as if your partner is here. Whether you have someone in your life or not, act as if they are with you so you will always consider them. And really about manifesting. Thoughts become things. Yes, they do. Demonstrate love. Find out what's important to those you love and act on it. So if you're meeting this, it certainly does seem like you guys are absolutely meeting somebody. Enough for nothing, but it does. Find out what matters to them and remember it and act on that. Right? Good lesson to always remember, right? There are always 3 energies in every relationship, right? At least. That's not even including any other element in life, but it's you, your wants, needs, and desires, their wants, needs, and desires, and the relationships. You know, it's a third entity. It takes on its own energy. Treasure Island, beautiful. This come up a couple of times for people. Observer, that's come up a couple of times too. Very nice. I like it. Treasure Island is about getting to really the root of your emotions and what it is that you honestly want. And when you get there, it could be really scary, super scary, but that's when you just hang out, observe. You just watch, do your research, listen a lot, do a lot of listening. Lots of listening. No place like home. You have to make sure that you resonate with this person on like that Cancer 4th house level, right? Grounded, rooted, safe, secure. Does this person have the potential to feel like home to you? You know, do you feel that sense of familiarity? Or do you feel like ultimately it will be trying to fit a circle in a square? And that's something that you're going to have to, you know, figure out, obviously, you know, once you meet this person, because it does look like this person is coming in. Let's pull a couple of heart oracles. If you could do anything, what would it be? The answer dwells in your heart, not in your mind, for the heart is the gateway to the soul. Yeah, so just remember what matters. You guys will. Emotions are a natural and necessary part of life, but they can also distort your perception and cloud your vision. In order to see clearly, you must let go of any resentment. So any resentment that you're feeling in the past, let go of it. Because even if it's from 10 years ago, that could still cause energetically a scar that can create a block. Close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. Beautiful. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at this. This card just flipped up. I wasn't even going to check this stack, but I can't ignore the fact that it's got a rose quartz on top of it and it still managed to flip up. So we have to pay attention to the signs. This situation involves marriage. All right. And then we have the moon. We have Virgo. And we have the 7th house of partnerships. So again, Virgo has to do with that communication, right? It is one of the mercurial energies. It's about problem solving, being super careful though, right? Virgo's a very critical energy, not only of self, but of others as well. And then we have the moon. Look at what's underneath the surface, right? You really want to do this. And also, please make sure that any past confusion and any past disappointment or past feelings of somebody letting you down does not end up inflecting this new connection that you're having. Because it does seem like between the card that just flipped up from the Angel Oracle, and I got the 7, which indicates marriage, I feel like there's something very serious that's going to be going on here. It's like right there. Seriously. Now, I don't know what else is in your chart, obviously. I don't know what personal retrograde you have going on. I don't know what's aspecting what. If I don't, you know what I mean? But this is for the archetype of Gemini. It looks very good. 6th house. Yeah. 6th house is Virgo. Isn't that funny? And we got Virgo. Yeah. Definitely pay attention to the details of a situation for sure. Right? Allow yourself to be very critical. So that's what I have for you guys. It looks good. It looks good for sure. Those of you who are going on dates, meeting new people, because Geminis are going to be meeting a lot of people. Yes. Careful of anybody coming back from the past, unless it was a healthy connection. But I always say that because you guys are ruled by Mercury. Mercury is still retrograde. We got Valentine's Day in the middle of all of that. So very common for people to just pop in from the past, right? In that energy. Okay. So let's go to those of you who are in a committed relationship. So I'm using the Lover's energy because the Lover's energy in tarot It's about the lovers, but it's about a love decision that's needed, right, between the two of you. So there's something going on where you need to make some sort of decision that you guys have to work through together, either having to do with your relationship, a family situation, could be anything, but let's see what kind of decision, and then we'll pull other cards from there. What's going on? Question. First card is question. Okay, so we have the Ace of Swords. Very interesting to get as the decision in love, because the Ace of Swords is about getting over some past obstacles, right? Getting what you want. So this is all about thoughts becoming things, having a lot of mental clarity. Ace of Swords, this is like all the air signs. Very, very auspicious energy for all areas of your life. New beginnings, decisions, clear thinking, circumstances getting better, being very mentally agile, being very assertive in the relationship in order for things to go well, in order for you guys to be able to manifest something. It's very much a positive energy, definitely positive. So we have the background of this. This is the Seven of Wands. Yeah, so maybe in the past, there was some sort of situation where there was this need to defend, or maybe there was some obstacles, but but you guys had the resilience to overcome whatever challenge that you were dealing with. This does indicate success eventually. You guys being very stuck on what your each individual belief system was, but this tells me that things may have been rather challenging, right, in the past, where you felt like you really needed to fight for the relationship and really stand up for the relationship, which is a good thing. This is a good thing to do if you know that your partner is going to return the loyalty, for sure, but it's definitely not a comfortable energy. So it feels like out of this discomfort, this mental clarity came or comes, because this is the decision right now. Right? Are you guys going to allow this new beginning? Because you have to understand, Ace is always about new. It's like brand spanking new, which is a really nice energy. So let's just see what choices you guys are working with here. We have the Fool. We have the High Priestess, okay? What's the best course of action to take? We have the Five of Cups. I'm going to talk about that. That sounds like a weird course of action to take, but you'll understand when we talk about it. And then we have the Outcome, which is the Wheel, okay? So let's see what's going on here. So the first choice, we have the Fool. So the Fool's a Uranus energy, fresh path, new perspective. It really is about a new start or a new approach, doing things differently than before, really going with the flow and focusing on the future, not focusing on the past. It's all Uranus, right? Uranus is about shocking surprises coming in, and it's just like future focused from here. That's it. Fresh path. Not even going to, we're not going to turn around. We're not going to, look back, nothing like that, right? If you're able to do that. So that's choice number one, right? Totally like whatever happened, can't do anything about it. Or you're going to be in your High Priestess energy, which can, and no one's judging here. This depends on what situation has gone on here. But the High Priestess can indicate just being single. So you saying like, do I want to have a fresh path with this person, or do I want to have a fresh path and be single? That could definitely be it, because there's all about wisdom, intuition, energy happening here. But there's also this energy of because according in numerology, this is connected to the Justice energy as well as Judgment. So if you think about what does justice mean, the truth coming out about something and there being this question of fairness, right? And then, Judgment is all about recognizing that the situation needs to be assessed. Based on those facts, there needs to be this assessment of things. And this is what you're doing. You're assessing things, right? In your higher mind, inside yourself. You're not talking to anybody about it. You're keeping everything under wraps. There's a lot going on between your ears and behind your eyes that you're not sharing with anybody. And honestly, the advice is don't. Now keep in mind, the High Priestess is connected to the Moon energy, and the Moon is everything that is underneath the surface. So you might be harboring a sense of confusion and disappointment because you sort of feel silently let down, right? And you're wondering, can things actually like really change, like really, really, you know, to be anything other than they are now? You know, because you're faced with that question, or totally leave the past behind, new chapter, and you being in this space where like, I don't really know if it's possible, I'm not sure, and you genuinely not knowing the answer to that. You would like it to be true, but based on your past experience in this connection, you're not really clear if things could ever be any different. You just want to make sure that you're being totally honest with yourself in all of this. Again, I can't emphasize that enough. And only because the High Priestess is connected to the moon, and the moon does rule the 4th house, which is the house of the stories that we tell ourselves. So we want to make sure that, you know, we're being really honest with ourselves. So these are the two things that you're being asked to look at. Now, when we have the 5 of Cups energy, you got to understand that the 5 of Cups, yeah, it's about loss and it's about, you know, feeling all of these things. But this is coming up as the best action to take, is allowing yourself to feel the disappointment, right? Because something's ending. Some sort of cycle within this relationship is ending before you feel fully ready for it. But you're going to be able to deal with it and move on. But this is going to be about recognizing that something had to end within the relationship. It doesn't mean the relationship had to end. It could be, but it's just like some sort of something within the relationship. But you're going to need to assimilate like old stress and sadness with what you're experiencing now in order to make a new start. So there's got to be this element of assimilation and recognition that you feel disappointed, that you feel the stress, the sadness about something that's gone on. Now, what's very interesting, though, to me is the fact that we had this challenge and then we have this mental clarity. So in that mental clarity, though, you're going to see things for what they are. And that's going to present a situation. Am I going to take the chance and go off on that unbeaten territory with uncharted territory with this person to see if things are going to be any different, because they can't be the way they were? Or do I want to be single, and do I want to just sort of do my own thing, right? Because there is this recognition that the clarity from what I see with the 5 of Cups is that something may ultimately end up not being or going the way that you really want it to go. And this is not you being a child and stamping your feet and saying, oh, damn it, you know, I wanted it to go that way. So much as you realizing that something that really matters to you may in all reality not be able to come to fruition. So you're going to be in the space of needing to decide that. And how are you going to assimilate that disappointment? Because you have to, right? I mean, really, this is the best action to take, is to assimilate and not repress and not even try to fight against the reality of the situation, that something's ultimately not going to come to fruition the way that you initially saw it in your mind's eye, and just accept that and assimilate it. Now, we do have, as the outcome energy, we have the wheel, and the wheel is very destiny driven. The Jupiter rules the sign. This is really about, this is a magician in the sun energy and numerology. This is about fate. This is about change. This is about good luck, a turning point, taking a chance. Turning to something or someone from the past, though, right, who magically reappears. So this really can be an ex-person, an ex-fill in the blank, coming back from the past, and you not knowing exactly what to do with that. Some of you are definitely going to be in that space. Now, but for a lot of you, it really can be this, like, taking a chance, knowing that something may not be 100% what you want, but you being willing to take the chance anyway, right? And you having resolved to take a chance on something. Yeah, but if somebody comes back from the past, you're really going to have to decide what you're going to do with that. Let's pull some energies here on the 5 of Cups. Page of Swords, 10 of Cups, and the Hermit energy. Interesting. So we have the Page of Swords energy. Swords are always about truth, right? So it definitely some sort of news comes in that's kind of eyebrow raising. You know, and you're in the space now of definitely relying on your intelligence, and you may be dealing with somebody who's kind of insensitive and very forthright, you know, but it doesn't indicate a new cycle. You realizing something here. We got the Ace of Swords. It's like, I don't know, Gemini, I feel like you're very awake when it comes to some sort of situation that's going on. And I feel like it has to do with ultimately what it is that you want. I mean, the Ten of Cups is ultimately really like what you want, right? Ten of Cups is family contentment, right? The benefits of security. It's a great energy for partnerships, you know, working on something hard together, deepening of communication, romance, all of that stuff, right? But this truth comes out about this. And then we have the Hermit clarifying that. The Hermit is about, again, going within for clarity. Numerology linked to this is the Moon. And again, the Moon does indicate having a crisis of faith and feeling emotionally vulnerable, you know. So this does indicate, though, really thinking about the past, thinking about past experiences so that mistakes aren't repeated, you know. But it's whatever's been going on up to this point is not meant for you. Like, that part is not meant to be part of your path. So it is time to do some really good work on yourself while you're thinking about all of these past circumstances that came up in this relationship. And now for some of you, you may be realizing, you know what? Maybe it's not perfect right now, but it's time to invest more time and more energy to work on smoothing over any issues that need addressing in this relationship in order for there to be that Ten of Cups energy. And there could be this realization, Gemini, that maybe you're actually not putting in as much work as you thought, or they're realizing that they're not putting in as much work into the situation. Like, more needs to be put into the situation. Some of you may have recently realized this, or some of you may be realizing it like right now. So let's pull a couple of energies on this wheel. I mean, that looks like a good thing to realize. Sure. Three of Cups, King of Coins, and the Devil. Oh, I'm going to pull another one of the Devil here. The Tower. Oh, okay. All right. So, the Three of Cups is a nice energy for sure, right? It's a celebration, abundance, circle of support, emotional, physical, good healing energy, good energy for a relationship, for sure, absolutely. And then we have the King of Coins going on here. So the King of Coins, clarifying that, Aries and Taurus. Very generous, hardworking energy. Making the most out of what you have. So it's like looking at your relationship and making the most out of it. Saying, okay, you know what? I had in my mind's eye that things were going to go a certain way. That's not going to happen. And it really, again, in that Five of Cups energy, it really is needing to embrace that and just kind of assimilating all of this energy and saying, okay, but we have these good things, right? And really focusing on those things. But then we have the Devil energy and we have the Tower. So, all right. So the Devil does indicate difficult situation in relationship. Like maybe somebody's very controlling, or somebody has some sort of addiction that they're nursing, or a lust over love situation, sort of a fair codependent issue could certainly be that. There could also be financial dependence going on here as well, and that's why you want to make the relationship really work, or any other ongoing money or property issue that keeps you tied to this relationship. That could be it too. But that could be causing a real serious imbalance. That's the thing, you know. But it does tell me that you're dealing with a situation, Gemini, where I feel like you seriously feel like you don't have, I'm not going to say full control over the situation, but you feel like somebody else is dominating the situation rather than it being like a 50-50 partnership or a 40-60 partnership. Like the scales are really not balanced. Somebody else is really in a position where, and just because of circumstance, where they're making the majority of the decisions, and that's going to end up creating issues that you're not going to be able to ignore. You're just not going to be able to ignore it. Now, the Tower energy here in relationship, it's like a secret comes to light, which can be really shocking. And it's definitely time to let go of past patterns of relating. Like, you have to let go of something. So it's definitely an abrupt change of circumstances. So this is about it's the destruction of the way something was, but at the same time, equally so, there's this enlightenment. So it's about like a necessary surrender of the situation. So something comes tumbling down. Now, of course, this could, a very easy interpretation of this would just be a relationship ending. But it could be so much more than that. The Tower energy could certainly be the realization that something just can't continue the way it is, and saying, look, we have to pull down the paradigm through which we've been functioning in this relationship. It's not working for me and it's not working for you, and we have to do things differently. And realizing that if you keep doing what you did, you're going to keep getting what you got, as I always say, right? So that has to go. There has to be this updating of perspective. Now, this could be you, this could be them, this could be a little bit of both of you. Or it could mean an absolute ending of the entire situation. Because the way that it's working, there's no way that it's going to be able to continue. Too many energies are coming up here. You're questioning too much internally between the High Priestess and the Hermit energy, and then to go from the King of Coins to the Devil. No. This is almost like you're trying to convince yourself of something that intuitively there are issues with that you really don't want to look at. Then we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, listen, let's talk about the Knight of Swords. It's not an easy energy. Unpredictable roller coaster energy ahead, highs and lows. Sudden truths coming out, or underlying conflicts are exposed. And this can be a relief depending on how you're feeling. This could be a relief. Well, this can be really confusing, right? It depends on where you're at in the situation. Definitely wait for things to settle. Don't make any big decisions right now, for sure. I mean, this is, what I'm getting here, but definitely expect the unexpected to have that clarifying the Tower. Gemini, I don't know. Something's going to be going on here. Get the Two of Swords. Cross purposes with yourself. Ooh, okay. Oh, Gemini. So if you're resonating with this so far, so we have this Two of Swords, which is Moon and Libra. It's time to think, because you are at an emotional stalemate and you need to make a decision. You're at cross purposes with yourself. You may want to protect yourself, right now, which is very understandable, but this situation isn't going away. You can't think your way out of this one. You can't talk your way out of this one. You can only act your way out of this one. I always say, like, those of you who know astrology, this energy always reminds me of like an inconjunct, right? Or quincunx, also known as, right? Where it's like that tension's not going anywhere unless you act on it. And that's the thing. It's like, what is your truth? What are you going to do? Because there are these two situations that you're dealing with, and you're, of course, that's the stalemate. The stalemate is on what the reality of your situation is, the straight up reality and the truth of the situation, and what you feel like is right for you. What is your personal truth? And you're at cross purposes right now. But we have the World. And the World is about learning a lesson. It's the completion of a lesson. It's completion. This is the Empress energy, right? This is you finally figuring something out once and for all. And as it being the Empress, and the Empress being Venus, the ruler, the mother of the tarot, right? I mean, this is all about growth and expansion and just really wanting to grow your life, right? But the World energy is about lesson learned. Now you're going to get the gift, as long as you exercise the lesson learned. But now we have to what's the lesson learned? Gemini, what lesson is being learned here? Ooh. Ace of Wands. This is a new chapter of your life. Ace of Wands. And this is what you're learning here. New chapter of your life. New chapter of passion. Okay, we have the Four of Wands. Four of Wands is a great energy, really. This is about a new partner will open up their heart and express their love and affection. For a lot of people, this is like a honeymoon energy, very auspicious for creativity. But there is this kind of newness here. We have two things indicating kind of newness here. Now, before anybody gets upset about anything, if you've been together for like forever, this could indicate absolutely brand spanking new cycle. We do have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is feeling very, very overwhelmed. There's an energy of overwhelm. This could also indicate that your relationship is being neglected right now because of other things in your life, and you're not focusing your energies enough on this relationship, with somebody, your partner is not focusing enough on you, and you guys are bored, or you're just sort of needing some energy infused into the situation. But this is definitely the card of overwhelm, responsibilities, overload of demands. And then we have the Five of Coins, feeling very disconnected from your partner. And then we have the Eight of Swords. You're questioning whether you belong in this relationship anymore. But I'm wondering if it's not because somebody new comes in. And the lesson that you're learning in the world energy is actually what you really want. You want something else moving forward for yourself. It's not that you don't want it to work out with this person, but it's like they're not able to show up in the way that you ultimately need for the long term. And I feel like you're realizing this about yourself. And then there's this other energy that comes in, and it's just like you might not even be doing anything with this person, but it's almost like this person reminds you of what it feels to feel really good in a relationship. And then we have this, you can't do it anymore. It becomes really overwhelming, and you're feeling very, very disconnected. You're feeling this definitive sense of lack, and you're just not feeling like you fully really belong in something anymore with this Eight of Swords. Feeling a lot of restriction, feeling a lot of limitation, right? Thinking things are never really going to improve at the end of the day. And that can create an anxiety, that creates challenges in you being able to concentrate and just doing your life the way that in a good, solid, healthy way, that you normally used to doing it in. Right? You need determination to pull yourself out of this, even if it means swallowing your pride, even if it means making some very hard choices right now. This is really, honestly, Gemini, I'm feeling like this is like the moment of truth. And I feel like the person who came in here, though, is more representative of, they're more like a, I don't want to say a metaphor, but they're almost more like representing something that you feel like you're missing. So in other words, not like you're going to run off and marry this person. I don't even feel like that, okay? It's like enough for them to remind you of what you are lacking in your relationship. That makes sense. Okay, yes, it ended up being complicated. This does happen sometimes. So you might want to, if you're looking for further messages, you might want to stick around for the next reading. I don't know, because we can go into complicated there. We have relationship patterns. It takes strength to recognize the need for change. Let's pull one more. Have patience. You have to be patient. Be patient with yourself, for sure. So we have Leo. We have the second house of things that you value. And we have the North Node. So the North Node is you guys right now. You guys are the North Node of the Moon. This is about communicating. Leo has to do with the fifth house of romance, falling in love, love affairs, doing what you love to do because you love to do it. And second house is the things that you value. If it's not only about money, it's also feeling your sense of self-worth, self-value. Anything that matters to you. The food you put in the mouth, the roof over your head, the money you make, all of that, right? So I feel like there's a lot going on here. I certainly do. I feel like there are multiple things going on here. Because I almost feel like the relationship that you're in is making you, in an uncomfortable way, reevaluate what's supposed to matter to you according to what matters to somebody else. Do you know what I mean? So it's a little tricky. 10th house, reputation. So this can also have this, obviously 10th house, a lot of you know it has to do with career, but it's reputation. And reputation is, are you married, are you not married, are you together, are you not together? Like, what is going on here, right? But this is about responsibilities and competence, right? And really being able to stand up in something and say, yes, this is what I want, or no, this is not what I want. It really is about achievement as well. Like, you really want to achieve this very sort of healthy energy in relationship. You're very hell-bent on that. But I can't blame you. But it's is very challenging now for those of you in a committed relationship. So food for thought. Food for thought, I would say, if you're resonating with it, for sure. If you don't resonate with it, guys, maybe we get you next time. Okay? So let's clean this up. Let's get into our complicated Geminis. Okay. So we're going to start with the Death card. Again, not because it's doomy and gloomy, but because it's about, what needs to go, what needs to be transformed. Complicated doesn't mean over, it means complicated, So let's see what kind of messages we can end up getting here. Past issues to be released. Some of you may be together, you may not be together. If you're not together, don't worry. I mean, you might just need some breathing room right now, right? If you guys are going to be able to find your legs later on down the road to have a really healthy relationship. Six of Swords, okay. And we have Five of Pentacles in the outcome. Past issues to be released is we're dealing with the Six of Swords, which is a moving on energy, right? Six of Swords is moving on, at least mentally. Even if you guys are in like a weird space, maybe you're still living together, what could be many different types of complicated relationships, but can manifest mentally or physically, mental, more mental than physical right now in the moment. But it's about detachment, right? Time apart, at least taking a break, from anything that you're considering to be toxic. And this allows some space for some internal work right now, And so you guys, I feel like a lot of you are actually not in communication right now. And we have Five of Pentacles is really feeling very much a sense of lack. So we'll talk more about that. Let's pull some cards and see what we get about that. Six of Swords. Let's see what kind of information can we get on that Six of Swords energy, on the Death, and the Five of Pentacles energy, please. Let's see what we get. Okay, Three of Swords. Okay. Four of Cups. So clarifying the Six of Swords energy, we have the Three of Swords to start. Card of pain, yeah. Heartbreak, pain of a truth, betrayal, depression. But the clouds of doubt are definitely cleared, and all you can do is face reality, and any confusion is gone, and you're going to be in a position to begin to move on from the shock or the pain of something, and some real healing can certainly begin. Definitely something very painful. Now, it doesn't have to mean a third-party situation, Gemini. It can, but it doesn't have to be. There are many, as we say, there are many ways we can hurt each other. It could be some sort of the third sword could actually be a family member, a situation going on with an ex or finances or anything like that, right? But there is this pain. And that pain created, caused a situation of like at least mental detachment. And we have the moon. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of confusion and disappointment here. There's a crisis in faith, definitely an emotional energy, feeling very vulnerable, but very disappointed, right? As you feel very let down. And that lack of trust that the relationship can actually really go the long haul is push you to make this decision about the relationship, But you're not there yet, right? I mean, we have the Nine of Wands, and the Nine of Wands is like, you ultimately being in a strong position right now, right? You fighting the long fight, right? Having to do with the situation. You've been through a lot. You're really tired, but you are going to have the perseverance to see something through. Like, this is temporary, right? But this is feeling defensive is pretty likely right now, but just be careful that it doesn't put you in like 100% negative mindset where your efforts are being thwarted, because you're meant to be met with success here. This really is an energy of success. It's like the gift for not giving up kind of thing, but you have to maintain balance, and whatever that's going to mean for you, because remember, what comes after the Nine of Wands is the Ten of Wands, and then it's the card of overwhelm, right? So you're right there. You're very tired, you're very overwhelmed, you're very confused. You are knowing that you need to make some sort of decision right now. Now, working with the death energy, what needs to be released or transformed here, we have the Four of Swords energy. So another card telling me that you guys are sort of in a pause position. This is taking a time out to recover, at least step back for a different perspective. Really good energy for doing any sort of shadow work, therapy, or just at least figuring out a better strategy for moving forward, right, regarding this relationship. You're just really trying to figure things out. And we have this Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands is always, whenever there's a two, there needs to be a decision, right? But the decision can be based on, you may be waiting to hear from somebody or about something. You may be waiting to get the phone call from this person if you guys aren't in communication. Or you might be waiting to have that conversation. So it could certainly be that. But this is you very much being in the headspace of wanting to make plans and move forward, particularly having to do with the partnership right now. But this does indicate a new romantic partnership, possibly through work or friends. So that is something to keep in mind. I don't know if this is like on your end or on their end, but it does seem like there is another energy that's kind of coming in here. And we have the Two of Wands, we followed by the Three of Wands. So we have synchronicity here. And the Three of Wands, a really good energy, one of the good fortune energies, actually. A very busy, intense period, moving forward with plans. Somebody, though, so with the Three of Wands energy, there is always another person in front of you that would represent the future, right? Like, this is like not turning your back, or actually literally turning your back on the past, not turning around to look at the past, and just focusing on the future, focusing on how you feel, focusing on a future destination. But this is being beckoned forth by another energy, right? It's like this is Sun and Aries energy. You're going to have everything that you need for a fresh path and a new perspective. So this is very interesting because we have this transformation going on and you're pressing the pause button, but this other energy going on, this Two of Wands, Three of Wands, this idea of like a new life on a different path is very much kind of playing into all of this. So I definitely feel like there is a lot of confusion here. Now, working with the Five of Pentacles. So Five of Pentacles is definitely feeling like there's been a test within this relationship. And it's making you feel very, very disconnected. You can be very afraid of security within this relationship. You could be feeling a lot of pain in the aftermath of you guys not being together right now. You have more support than you realize, but there's a deep, deep sadness, right? Certainly with this energy, for sure. Like, definitely an energy of like worry. Could even be like some depression involved here. Now we have this. Isn't that interesting? Did I pull an extra card here? We have the Strength energy. So the Strength is it definitely indicates, right? Literally, we were just saying the Five of Pentacles is like, oh, is that connection tested? And if your relationship has been tested here, things will improve, but there's a need for balance. Now, you want to make sure, though, with the Strength card, you always want to make sure with this that your attraction to each other doesn't end up masking the stuff that you need to talk about, right? Like there's this big issue that you have to talk about, right? But then if you guys end up reconnecting, you end up in bed instead of discussing. And you don't want that to end up being the issue, because there's a lot of things that need to be talked about. We have this Five of Swords energy. Very confusing energy here for sure. Five of Swords. This is Venus and Aquarius energy. So there's definitely a clash of desires and reality. So there's this tension and this ongoing conflict that you're not going to win. And you just have to know that. So it's like you can't wish into existence what you want to be the reality of this relationship, because there's a clash there between what you feel that you want to be the reality of the relationship and what is likely or possible based on your partner and based on reality and based on whatever else is going on in life. But you're not going to be able to win this. So you better walk away with grace, as I always say with this energy, and deal with the anger and disappointment, because you can't mitigate this whatever other stuff is going on here. This is not you, meaning the reason for the conflict here is not coming from your end. It's just not. It's not coming from your end. There's some sort of external, bigger, larger situation going on. Either it's going on with your partner or something that's going on external to you and your partner that you guys just can't mitigate. But it's creating this serious situation within the relationship. It's very uncomfortable because there's not this meeting of the minds between what is possible for you to move forward in a way that really resonates with you. Okay, and then we have this working with the Four of Cups energy. So the Four of Cups energy is definitely like apathetic, right? I would say apathy with this restlessness, like restlessness, boredom. It could definitely be this challenge where it's like, oh, can't I just be in a relationship where there's not a lot of drama, that kind of thing. Or for a lot of you, this could also indicate just being, and I hate to say this, but just being bored. Just being really bored in the relationship. But the thing is here, you got to look at that. Where's the boredom coming from? Because the tendency here with the boredom, with this energy, is like to blame the other person and not look at how you might be looking at somebody to actually make you feel less bored. Well, you could spice it up. And if you don't feel motivated to spice it up and you don't feel motivated to bring something back on its legs, you got to look at that. Like, what is that about? Is it because you feel like you're always the one doing it? Is it, there could be many, many different things going on here. Let me just pull a couple of cards on that Four of Cups energy. Wheel of Fortune. High Priestess. Seven of Pentacles. So the Wheel of Fortune is it's a great energy. I mean, it's ruled by Jupiter. It's definitely, it's the magician and the sun. It's about making something that you see in your mind's eye, bringing it into fruition and having absolute happiness, right? This is like an unexpected but positive change or adjustment it could be to your living situation or to something that's going on in the relationship. But for a lot of you, and I have to just keep it real, this can be somebody from your past coming back around. But you're going to need to think about that last go around. You're going to need to think about, what does it all even mean? And it could end up being confusing. And for a minute, you might end up being like, oh, maybe I'll go with the High Priestess energy. Hey, the High Priestess is being a little secretive, right? And it's like you thinking about being single for a minute. Others of you might be working on relationships in private as well. I do have to say that. Some of you might have some secret affairs going on. Nobody really knows what's going on. You're working, really trying very hard to focus on your relationship in private. We have this also being clarified with the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is just, saying, I'm going to work hard at this. It's going to pay off. I have to be patient. I'm not going to give up on this situation. I feel like, we could do this. We could definitely do this. So very interesting energy, because I feel like there's going to be a lot of in and out, a lot of you really wanting it, you wanting to work at it. We could definitely do this, and then you feeling very disillusioned and disappointed because you're going to realize that it's ultimately not going to be what you want. But then you're saying, oh, wait a minute, I want to go back, I want to try to save this, let me see what I can do. And you know what I mean? So it's going to be this back and forth, because I feel like, even though it's a minor arcana, I feel like a big issue for this situation is going to be the stupid Five of Swords. Because it's going to be this, even though it's a minor arcana, it's this clash between desire and reality. Now, this can be what you really want and what they really want, and you guys not being on the same page, or you both want the same thing, but you guys can't bring that to yourselves. And so what are you going to do? How long are you going to hang out in that space, in that in-between space? In that nexus, in that purgatory kind of thing. I mean, that sounds dramatic, I know, but it's like you're neither here nor there. It's you have all of these positive emotions, this amazing relationship, but you don't want it to stay here, because you want to go there with them, but you can't go there, at least not now, and not in the foreseeable future. So there's always going to be this constant tension. So you're going to have to figure out, how are you going to mitigate that constant tension? And that could manifest by lots of arguments, finger pointing, frustrations, and then coming together. And then there could ends up being cycles. So I don't think I need to overspeak that any more than I've already communicated. I think you guys get the point. But it does seem like definitely a complicated situation. No question. See what we have here. Have faith. That keeps coming up. Yeah, everybody has to have faith. It's so funny. Of course, we have to have faith. Trust your faith in this situation. What does that even mean, right? Well, it means that nothing happens by accident. Even when you feel stuck in a situation, there's a reason for that. Maybe you just take a little longer to learn stuff. That's all. When it comes to certain things. Depends on where your Cancer is in your chart, right? Practice compassion. See things from a different perspective. Receive with love and appreciation. Yeah. I don't know, Gem. It does seem like somebody's trying the best they can. But I feel like there is a situation that's just stuck. Stuck because of other things that just can't be mitigated right now. I don't even feel like necessarily it's because it's like life is the answer that I'm getting here. Mending. Oh, very nice. Beautiful. Mending. By the book. One more. Tick-tock. Clock's ticking. Yeah, a lot of Geminis are feeling that these days. Clock's ticking, very aware of that. And by the book just means look, if we're going to be together, this has to be that and that has to be that. And if we're going to not have that, then we need to create a new normal, right? Kind of thing. But there's got to be communication here. It does seem like there's definitely some sort of break going on here, though. It does seem like. All right, my friends. Let's just throw the astro dice and pull a card. We have the 6th house. Again, we got the North Node, which is you. That came up the last one. We have Cancer. Cancer is about really. I just made a reference to the Cancer energy too, right? about trusting your faith, in a situation. 6th house is about problem solving, right? Problem solving. It's Virgo. North Node, you guys are definitely needing to learn something different, have a new approach. There's got to be some sort of new approach that helps you to feel very grounded, rooted, safe, and secure. in this relationship, because whatever's going on is making you feel not comfortable. You're not okay with something in the way it's going. So that is what I have for you, my friends. I hope this was helpful in some way. If not, hopefully we'll get you next time. If it didn't resonate, get everybody each time, right? Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.